Hi guys, what's up? Welcome to the Friday Night Hideout Live. Jan will be live right after this, talking about the Ozark meetup, which is in June in Missouri. So, want to say hi to the people in here. Hello, Jan with Simply Jan Homestead, Lori with It All Adds Up, and Jamie's Country Living. Thank you guys for coming in. If you guys have time, if you could share this out on your community tab, that would be awesome. So how many of you guys have started planting things? And what are you planting this year? I'm trying to, hello Heather, how are you? I'm trying to stay with mostly trying things that I actually eat. There's a couple of things like I am trying the cucamelon, which I'm very pleased that I have a couple of those up. And I'm just, hello Prayer Mountain Homestead. I'm trying to get so I put an easel inside of there and I'm trying to get that to be my trellis. But I think I need to like drill it in or something. But for temporary, I took a brick and put it in front of each one of the legs of the easel to see if I could get it to stay up. But it probably definitely needs to be drilled in. Hello, Beth, BNS Odyssey. Welcome in. So, yeah. Anyway, today I worked on, I'm trying to paint one of my beds, one of my garden beds every day. So today I got out there and did some painting. I found a whole gallon of this. I thought it was like a gray, but when I got to painting it, it's kind of a grayish brown, but I really like the color. So hello, Melinda Dobson. I enjoyed meeting you at the meetup. Thank you so much for coming. That was awesome. Yeah, a few people got to meet Melinda Dobson at the Lone Star meetup. So that was really cool. Her first time to go to a meetup. So I'm glad you picked mine to go to the first one. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, so today I just planted a few more morning glories to grow up on my trellis. I had planted some zinnias in this one place and they never came up. They did come up in the baby pool where I usually put them, but they didn't come up in the other container that I put them in. So I decided to go ahead and put some morning glories in the back there so it could grow up on the trellis. Then I think I'm going to find some other flowers to fill in there with. I have plenty of flowers over here, and I still have my seeds from the IBG seed swap that should be coming in next week. I think she's sending those out today, so they should be in. They should be in by next week. So if you've signed up for that, I did save some raised beds to use. Hello, Ann Philbeck. I did save some raised beds to be able to plant some of the IBG seeds. Hello, Ariella Viking Venture. How are you? Had a blast at the meetup. Thank you for making me feel like family. Aw, I'm glad you did. I hope you'll come back if we do it again. I'm hip, G. Some come soon. I'm trying to figure out what Heather's talking about. Sometimes she types in a hurry, or maybe she voice texts, like talks to her phone, and then it texts what it thinks she's saying. Or she types in a hurry. I don't know. It happens. I'm sure I type some things too. Yeah. So today I was listening to I've been listening to some stories. There's a lady on YouTube named Beverly Wolfie that read stories. So I've been listening to the Little Women series being read. And she's gone through several different ones: Little House on the Prairie, Anne of Green Gables, uh, a Tree in Brooklyn, a few like old type stories. So, so I'm down to my last 2 chapters of that to see how they're going to sum up this story, which I've never read Little Women, so I don't know how it's going to end. So don't tell me. Hello, Jennifer. Jennifer Ocean Homestead. Digging borage, calendula up and moving it around. Yeah, I have 3 borage up so far. I have some sage up. I have some oregano up, and I think some milkweed. For some reason, though, no parsley. I don't have any parsley up. I don't know what's going on with the parsley, because normally I would have parsley up at this point. So, well, maybe need to plant some more. Responding to Jerry. Oh yeah, half acre homestead. Yeah. I haven't watched her homesteading channel. I just listened to her read stories. So she's nice. She's a nice lady. She has a good reading voice. On the Little Women, though, she's reading them live. So you get to hear a little bit of her talking, and then she'll read, and then she'll talk a little bit more, and she'll kind of go back and forth. But anyway, yeah. So she's a nice lady. Our Half Acre Homestead. Yeah, that's it. Yep, that's her channel name. Cynthia's Crafts and More. How are you? How are you doing? Penny Ortiz, welcome in. Jan is going to have a couple of guests on tonight and going to be talking about the Ozark meetup, which will be the next meetup we're going to. I know there's lots and lots of other meetups coming in Oklahoma, and are they both in Oklahoma? I think they might both be in Oklahoma. But anyway, there's more meetups, but those are the ones I'm going to. You know, hubby only gets like a certain amount of time off. So we can only go to a certain amount of trips and events. So I have to pick and choose. Yeah, I do know that she's in Canada. Got gifted a Fuji apple tree today. Oh, that's awesome. I want to do fruit trees, but I haven't yet. Only planted a few things. It's going to get cold on Monday and Tuesday night in a couple of weeks, maybe. Let's see. I'm going to try to put out a few more plants. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I do know some, I know my potatoes are doing really well, and bachelor buttons are looking really well. That container is about 3/4 of the way full. And then I think I saw that it wasn't going to fill the container, so I planted another flower over here. I want to say maybe it looks like cosmos because there's another flower coming up. And then I put some hyacinth in the bag because I'm going to do like a whole lane of flowers this year. So I really like doing flowers. Yeah, for pollinators, but also it's just very pretty to see flowers. I like seeing flowers. Yeah, Fuji's good. Fuji's a good apple. I hate autocorrect. Yeah, I know. It always tries to mess things up. Sometimes things are spelled unusually, like my younger sister's name's kind of unusual. Certain things it doesn't know what you're trying to do. And so it's always trying to correct you. You're like, no, I'm spelling it right. But yeah. So that's what I did today. I just kind of planted some more morning glories, and I planted some lettuce, and I did some painting. And I pretty much have all of my survival seeds planted except for my watermelon. because that section's going to have to be like fully tilled because I let it go and then it kind of got weed ridden and grass and stuff. So it needs to actually be tilled for me to be able to get in there and plant the watermelon. And I'm going to go ahead and plant the watermelon. I'm also going to plant the exotic blue pumpkin that I won last year. So I have those two things. Yeah. Autocorrect's trying to correct things wrong. Eating supper. Sorry, I'm not chatting right now. No, that's fine. You're eating so you can get ready for your live. I guess I'll eat after Jan's live is over. Okay. I know Heather's been working really hard on her garden, trying to make everything look pretty. We're actually going to get some rain. Actually, it should be starting like any time now. So I didn't water this morning because I knew we were supposed to be getting rain today. So I'm just going to take it by faith that it is going to rain because it's been looking cloudy all day, but it hasn't rained, not a drop. Well, Ariella, it's trying to tell you not to type the curse words, I think. Autocorrect is trying to correct your spelling from not putting curse words. I'm actually surprised the curse words aren't in the autocorrect. Oh, I know. I'm so sorry for your loss. That's terrible. Yeah. One of my friends that I used to have in Rhode Island passed away, and I didn't find out until way later. And I was very, very upset by that. But yeah. But no, there was no one really that was able to tell me. So I found out years later. And I really don't even at this point know what the friend passed away of. It didn't say anywhere in the writing. So I don't know. Not that it matters. Went back to my sewing room today. The smell is all gone. Oh, the other day I gave Anne my sock so she could sew the hole in it, and she put in the comment section that her whole sewing room was stinky from my sock. Oh my goodness. I know. So it took me a second to figure out what she's talking about, but yeah, she's too funny. And it's funny. Who knew? Yeah, oh man, grief is a terrible, horrible thing, and it just takes so long to go away, and it hurts so bad, and even after you kind of think you're over it, you just have these days to where, you're not completely over it, and you just break down again. Even my dad, I mean, that's been so many years, but still I have these days where I'm like, oh, wish my dad was here. Wish I could tell my dad this or that. There's nothing wrong with the natural fragrance. Yeah. Yeah. So too funny. All right. So I have a guest tonight coming up, and I'm going to get her pulled up. So here is my surprise guest for the evening. There it is. Hi, Amy. What's up? Do this.
Do you see what I did?
What did you do?
Totally I just got home and I was trying to put in Leonard Mountain Homestead, and it only came up with Lee. So Lee. There's that.
So you're Lee tonight.
Lee.
Okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm Lee tonight, y'all.
Did you get it set up to go live on your channel?
No, I don't think so.
You can if you want to. If you see that little thing there, if you want to
do what now?
if you want to take a couple minutes and do that, you can. It's cool. Because I know,
Do I need to
I know
drop
when you
out?
come up on someone's panel, you have to take the time to put in the title and stuff. It should be a little. Do you see it? Yeah.
Let's see. Share screen. I'm sorry, my words are being really loud right now. It's like I came in and stream this to your audience.
There you
I
go.
see that. No.
Y'all see?
No.
Y'all see
Now,
this cool looking mug I got from Amy in this neat? I love it. I like the fact that it looks like, I don't know what you call that when it's got the little white specks in it, but it does look like, because I know you said you thought it was metal, but
yes.
it's really cool. We love it. This is actually my second Leonard Mountain Homestead mug, because I have another one that's white that has the turquoise writing on it. So actually, after the meetup and we got all the mugs that we got, we're actually going to have to take ours down and put them in the cabinet, and because my hanger up here, it only has room for 8 mugs.
Oh,
So,
okay. Did it work?
Of course, this will be one of them. But I mean, that's a lot of mugs. So we're gonna basically put them all up and yeah. So thank you.
Yeah, using nothing but YouTube channel mugs.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Well, yeah. I have my Lone Star.
Oh yeah.
Mug right here.
Yeah. We got those made by Amy. Amy's right here. By Jamie, Devil Dog's Keeper. So Jamie's wife. So that's like the first thing. And the stickers, the Lone Star stickers, those were made by her as well, but those were a gift from Jan for me. So that was really nice of her. But yeah. So so what kind of things are you planning on planting in your garden this year?
Well, of course, the seeds that I got from the survival seeds, which I told Chris to stop by Lowe's and get me some soil, because I got these little things right here to plant in to start. There's the little lights right there. And all it does is you plug it in and it has a grow light. So you plug it in.
I like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last year I got 3 or 4 of those.
What are those bugs? What are those bugs called? Fungus gnats. But it wasn't because of the hydroponics.
Yeah. I'm going to
here that had soil. So they're attracted to that soil. So I like that setup there, because it covers it up where you're not going to get that problem, the fungus gnats. Yeah.
Tonight I'm Lee, y'all. I'm Lee. I think everybody knows my name.
Scotty. Yeah. Yeah, we all know she's Amy with Leonard Mountain Homestead. She was trying to type it quick, so I know. And see, now that I have the paid StreamYard like for a year. I'm gonna have it for a year. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna stream on both channels at the same time, because technically you're getting double credit for it, because you're getting an hour here and an hour here. So
yeah, somebody was asking me, like, if the person who sets up the stream, do they get more hours than the person that is co-stream with you? And I didn't think that you did.
I heard that, but I didn't. I like to ask different people, because someone told me that, but then I don't know if it was true or not. So I'm like, I like to ask different people to see, but I didn't think that was true. But I was like, I think everybody would just get their own hours for their live. Say I'm live right now and Amy's live. Amy will get hers and I will get mine, but we don't get any part of each other's, the way I've always. But then that one person said that. And I'm
going to grab the seeds that I got from the meetup, because those I'm going to be planting as well. Hold on.
All right.
Hold on.
She said, hold on. Hi, James.
Okay. Jan had threw some more seeds at me. So, and she labeled them, which is the pink 4 o'clock.
Yep.
Pink 4 o'clock. I'm going to be doing that. And then be doing some more tomatoes. Those little bitty cherry tomatoes. Whatever. Yeah, those. And then I'm going to do some cilantro because I love cilantro.
Yep.
Okay.
Me too.
Let's see, sunflowers because I love sunflowers.
Yep.
These are some more tomatoes. I don't know. I've never seen this one before. I've never seen like the company. It's a different package that I'm used to.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
And then cantaloupe. She threw those at me, told me to take them. Sweet peppers. There's a few pepper ones that she had thrown at me and said, here, take them. So there's different peppers that I'm going to be planting.
Awesome.
Different cucumbers because there's different kinds of cucumbers that they have out there. So there's going to be cucumbers. It's probably the same thing, but like different companies market it different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I noticed some of those seeds were some of the same like type that Survival Seeds was doing. There was another package there that said the Hale's Best Cantaloupe. So somebody else was doing that same type of cantaloupe.
See, I got a lot of the tomatoes, like the little cherry tomatoes. My grandson loves those tomatoes.
Oh yeah, I know. Zucchini?
Squash. Yeah, the squash. And then Jan will get me basil. It's basil.
Basil, yeah.
Yes, basil. She's like, stop it right now. And then marigold.
Yeah.
But good. I need to get some in because
both of those are good protective plants. Sometimes I'll cheat and go to the garden center and buy some marigolds already planted because when my zucchini comes up or my whatever squash, I want to have the marigold already up before the squash comes up to be there to protect it because those squash bugs are no joke.
Okay, that's a question I have for you. Can you can you send me like, because I'm a sponge right now. I keep saying that I'm a sponge right now. Like, what is good to grow with each other? Like tomatoes, because you saw I'm growing tomatoes.
Tomatoes and basil.
Okay.
I've also heard people put marigolds with it too. I haven't done that yet, but I've always done tomato and basil, and then zucchini and marigold. Marigold's almost great with anything really, because bugs don't like the smell of it. But a lot of the herbs, you know, because technically they're kind of stinky. Rosemary, thyme, sage, borage. A lot of those bugs don't like it, even though there is something already eating on my borage outside. I'm like, why are y'all eating the borage? It's supposed to be a protective plant. And here you are already nibbling. Something's already out there nibbling. It's barely beginning of the season. Hello. Welcome
so
in.
Ann Philbeck says that basil makes tomatoes sweeter.
Yeah, I've heard that it does affect the taste. Yeah.
Hello, everyone. I'm co-streaming with Gail.
I'm planting basil with my cantaloupe too, because I read that that's a companion plant for cantaloupe is basil as well. But yeah, I'll send you a text or an email and tell you some of those that I figured out. But there's basically a good probably 10 different, because I've had it all. You know, one year I had vine borers and squash bugs and several other different kinds. And one thing you need to get going, and this will be real helpful in the garden, is eventually to get yourself some garlic, because a lot of these pests don't like garlic either. And that helps ward off those stupid vine borers. My sister was describing damage last year that she had on her plants. And when she was describing it, she thought they were squash bugs. But when she talked about the vine damage, I'm like, that's totally vine borers. I said, you need to plant some squash in there because when they wake up, they're just going to turn around and start eating it again. Also, kind of move your squash around in different areas to kind of confuse the bugs. Like I used to plant them in the same place, but after the vine borers, I don't. Every year I move them around to different beds just to keep the bugs confused.
Look at Jerry. He's making it. He's like, name Lee. Yes. I was trying to hurry up and get in because I was late, Jerry. And I only pressed. I thought I had pressed for the whole Leonard Mountain Homestead, and it only took the L and the E. So there's that. So my name's Lee tonight, y'all.
Yeah, she's got a nickname just for tonight.
So anyway. So how I'm going to be doing, because I cannot plant in the ground. Mm-hmm. I have containers that I'm going to be, what looks like lick tubs, but they're not lick tubs. They're big containers like that. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be planting in there. I have some raised beds, and then I have some other things, which I will show on one of my videos when I do my garden stuff. But I'm trying to get Chris to move all of my garden stuff to one area, so I'm not like planting here and planting there and then turning around and stuff. And
I kind of have mine in rows because hubby does the mowing and the weed eating, so I have everything like in rows. So he like, you know, take the riding lawnmower through everything, and then he goes around and weed eats stuff too. So he does all the lawn care. I know a lot of you homesteading women are out there mowing. Number one, I'm allergic to grass, and number two, hey, you know, I like to have the help because he doesn't, you know, he'll till an area for me or build a raised bed or something for me, but all the rest of the garden work I do by myself. I could grow way more stuff, but then I'm the one that has to plant it, water it, weed it, harvest it. His only thing he really likes to do is harvest it. He likes to walk around and pick the zucchini and walk around and pick the peppers. You know, he doesn't, that's about it. He'll walk around, you know, handing me stuff. I'm like, hey, go put it in the kitchen.
So here's another question for me, from me, not for me, but from me. Even if you're doing raised beds, and growing in containers, is it good to put a, where a weed barrier on the bottom and then lay your containers on top to where you're not having that problem of weed eating and weeds coming through, even if you're growing in raised beds?
A lot of people do that. A lot of people do that. There's a lot of people that'll put that down. You know, Jan does it. Kathy with Resourceful Living does it. I don't do it because a lot of my holes are at the bottom of the container. So if I need for it to still drain. Plus I put some on the part that's not touching the ground. But that's just a kind of a whatever you want to do thing. I haven't had the best luck with the weed barrier stuff, but maybe I wasn't buying one that was expensive enough. I'm thinking it has to be pretty expensive for the weeds not to pop through it, because I had terrible luck the couple of times I tried to do it. So I just have mine in rows, and I try to, sometimes I'll put down cardboard or some, bricks and things just to try to keep, or rocks, you know, little, I don't know. I try to keep them all kind of contained. Like anything, if I'm going to grow it in a pot, I don't want it to sit directly on the ground. So I have pieces of wood where I'll put my pots on that to keep them directly off the ground. But I have a lot of trouble. I don't know if you guys have that in Oklahoma, but I have a lot of trouble with fire ants.
I haven't had fire ants. Now we have little ants. Now I'm reading some of the chat where it says I put some gravel at the bottom as well. Somebody said no, that that restricts the root space. which kind of makes sense. But wouldn't the weed barrier still be able to like get nutrients from the ground? I don't know. I'm asking.
Like your metal beds that are on the ground. Well, technically, they're still, when I do like a metal bed or a wood bed that's on the ground, it's technically still going into the ground down here. So it's still getting the nutrients. I have a few areas like that are just still growing into the ground because some things need more root room than what you can get out of a container. So you want to kind of Google what you're planting to see how much root room does it need.
Okay.
And when you're doing a container, don't try to fill the container to the top.
Okay.
This is why, because you want to make sure you have enough root room that it says on Google, but you want to leave yourself room to continue to amend it with some chicken manure or goat manure or some, other amendments that you have, some coffee grounds and some eggshells. You want to leave room to keep building on that, because once you hit the top, then you have to pull things out to continue to amend it. So if you keep it kind of low, you can keep building up on it every year. So, but those licking tubs, I just got 2 of those from Jan. She gave them to me. She brought them up there to me. And I actually put a small log on the bottom of mine. And then on the sides of that, I put like some sticks and then like leaves or shredded paper and stuff like that. Some compost on the other side of the yard that has the chicken manure and some straw and different things like that. And then I just keep building, and eventually at the top, and then I don't have enough compost built up yet to do 100%. So at the top, I usually put the nice soil, store-bought soil at the top. I try to save as much money as I can by adding those layers. Hi, Billy. Weed barrier. Yeah, a lot of people use weed barrier. I have not had real good luck with it. But yeah, it is a possibility. It depends on your area. I mean, the way Jan has hers done and the way Kathy has theirs done, it looks really, really nice. Yeah. I think it does look very neat.
Okay. And so, Jerry said that he does weed barrier. Like he said,
a lot of people do it. I haven't had good luck with it, but that everybody, you just sponge everything and learn everything and then come up with the Amy way of doing it,
just the Amy way of doing it.
Yeah. Just come up with your Amy way of doing stuff. And you could text me anytime with questions. And I've been just learning because I think I was in the middle of telling you this story when I saw you the other day. I said, I thought I knew a lot. And then when I got on YouTube, I realized I didn't know very much. So I've spent these past few years just trying to, every year I would have a problem. I would spend the fall and winter researching that so that next year, whatever problem I had, hopefully I could fix it. So if I had a pest problem, I looked up, what do I plant with it that's going to make this pest problem better? And I kept working on it. I've even found a pretty good thing for the ants just by research and watching video. Like I watch a lot of videos, like Millennial Gardener and the Rustic Gardener and the all these big YouTube channels, which I'm not so much about following people because they're a big channel, but they have a lot of gardening knowledge that I want to learn. So I'm learning from them, but I can learn from anybody. I still ask questions and I still listen because I feel like somebody eventually is going to say something that I've never used in the garden before. And I'm going to learn something new. And I'm going to, just like mushroom compost. I've never done that. I tried the biochar thing, but I don't know that I was quite there yet. But I do know that Walmart did have some last year that you could buy. But yeah, so those licking tubs, I think those are going to be really good for, hi, Ed. Welcome in. So yeah, I just keep trying to learn things. I definitely feel like lots of herbs in your garden. And a lot of people they treat flowers like they're a vanity, like they're just to look at, but they're really not, because you need to have all those you need to have your ladybugs, and you need to have your butterflies, and you need to because ladybugs eat aphids. It doesn't look like they would be able to. They're so tiny, and I don't understand. I need to watch a video on how they, they're so little. How could they be eating stuff? But we need to draw all those beneficials, and so flowers are just as important as anything else. So there are people like Bob with Robin Hood Homestead who eat their flowers. He's talking about eating hostas. I can't imagine that, but I know I have eaten some lavender in something before, but not. And I have some tea. I just started buying teas because I was hearing all the stuff about how they're putting bad stuff in our tea. So I started buying tea from Thrive Market, like the Earl Grey, and then I bought some hibiscus tea, and then another brown mountain rose or something. So I just take all those 3 teas and mix them together and make it like this cool herbal tea. So anyway.
So here's another question. So like, is there something you can use that takes away the ants but doesn't harm like the good bugs that are supposed to be in your garden? Like they're saying dragonflies and butterflies and bees and stuff like that. Is there something that you can use to get rid of the ants, but not everything else?
That's where it becomes a problem. When you're treating the ants and it's not in your bed, you can go as extreme as you want with it, right? You can pour boiling water on it. You can cover it with a trash bag. You can put a dark colored pot on top of it to, kind of make it a warm place that they don't want to be. And you can pour even cold water on it or whatever. But when you're doing it in your bed, then if you pour the boiling water on it, you're killing your microbes in your soil. So then you have to get more creative and use like citrus pills or diatomaceous earth. But even diatomaceous earth can be killing some of your bad beneficials. So it gets very complicated. So that's why it's hard. Sometimes I'll even just flush it out with cold water because they don't like damp areas. So if you've had trouble with your ants there in a specific corner, like I found a corner today out there, I think I'm just going to keep flushing that with water because at least water won't do any harm to anything. So I'm just going to keep flushing that with water. But yeah, it gets very tricky when the ants are in your bed.
Okay.
So I'm trying to be organic. Now, if you're not trying to be organic, you can throw some pesticide in there and be done with it. But I mean, to me, if I can't make my food be healthier than the grocery store, then I might as well go to the grocery store and ingest all the pesticides that they're going to offer me, So
yeah.
I'm trying to do better than that. I'm trying not to, because I don't think it's the best thing for you.
Find something that.
But yeah, it's difficult. I mean, sometimes I'll go to Dollar Tree and I'll buy like a cheap thing of cinnamon and a cheap thing of cayenne, and I'll mix the two together, and I'll just shaker that on the soil around it because they don't like the smell of the cayenne or the cinnamon. So I've tried everything, guys, everything, and I'm perfectly okay treating the beds outside of the bed. It's when it's in the bed that it's complicated. But it does put these the honeybees. You're running off your honeybees. That's one problem. You could be killing butterflies. You could be killing ladybugs. Could be killing all kinds of stuff. Yeah, that's why the diatomaceous earth, even though it's very organic, it still causes problems.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really know where to get the ants. I don't really know where to get that clay, and I've also seen problems with the clay. So it's like everything you do, darned if you do, darned if you don't. Hi, Bushcraft family, how are you?
Hello.
So yeah, Ants is a complicated problem.
Okay.
Because I haven't figured it out. Squash bugs too. Squash bugs are difficult as well. This year, though, I'm trying marigolds in one bed and nasturtiums in another, and we're going to see if the nasturtiums work better than the marigolds did for protecting. But on your sunflowers that you're doing there, my advice is not to plant those sunflowers directly in your bed with your other stuff. Kind of plant them a little bit separately because they're beautiful and I love them. And I have 2 beds of sunflowers, but I actually plant them away from my other plants because they draw these weird bugs. And if you plant them with other stuff, then now you have that problem right there. Say if you planted them with your squash, well, now whatever bug that is on your squash because you planted them together. So I say plant them, give them their own little place.
It's sweet tea. Is Amy drinking pop? I need to go off pop again because I started drinking pop again, and when I started drinking pop again, I'm telling you what, my body told me, "What are you doing?" Because I started hurting, and I hadn't done anything different but start pop again. So I'm gonna stop drinking pop again. I need to drink more water.
Yeah, I think I've been about 3 years without soda now.
That's good.
Very sad. My saddest moment is when I see someone over there drinking a Dr. Pepper. I'm like, I liked my Dr. Pepper.
But I'll have questions for everybody. You and Kathy and probably Jan as well because I did
quite a bit of stuff from Jan. She's quite knowledgeable. If I have a question, I'll call Jan. Hey Jan, what do I do about this? Because this year was my first time to grow potatoes.
Nice.
So, and they're looking really good. I did 3 in grow bags and 1 in like a wooden container. So, and they said to keep adding the soil to it because I guess it puts on the tubers, which I guess is the potatoes, and you keep adding to it. And at the end, the grow bags will be easy because you just get out like a tarp or something, or I don't know what, some kind of something. I'm thinking a tarp would be the easiest. You just pour it over and dig out all the. But on that other container, I'll probably just have to kind of dig it out to get it all out of there. But I wanted to try a couple of different things just to kind of see what was best.
So
here to try grow bags.
My first year, I had a small garden, and it was basically 3 raised beds together, small area. And my mistake that I've learned from, and that's why I got more containers for this year, is because I planted squash and other stuff together, and that squash took over everything. So that's why I got more containers now.
Well, some people will walk around and say, I'm going to plant one of these 14 different kinds of tomatoes. Pretty much all plants that you plant, you need to plant in doubles.
Okay.
So you might keep that in mind anytime if you want it. I would say plant it in doubles. There's probably it has to do with the pollination. And the easiest thing for me, because I can't remember what all ones need the double plant, I just plant 2 of everything. And that way, it's always there. So I didn't really want a lot of tomatillas, but I wanted some because I have this really cool dip that I make with it. So I planted 2. So, but I'm going to keep planting a seed until I get 2 because I want it to be able to be pollinated. And I'm doing those in the metal beds, but the metal bed is going straight into the ground because tomatillas need a lot of root room. So I made sure to get all the weeds, dug through that, added some amendments and everything. And so I have 1 up so far. So I haven't always, on those peppers, you might try some bone meal, blood meal.
That's what I was talking to about with my mother-in-law. Is like, I've heard some people use the bone meal and stuff with the tomatoes, and I don't know if that's just tomatoes or if that's,
I
other
think you can
stuff.
use the bone meal or the bone meal blood meal, because there's one that's just the bone meal and one that's bone meal with blood meal. Last year I used the bone meal blood meal for my bell peppers, which is like peppers. I think you can use them for everything except for beans,
Okay.
because Jan said it did not work well with beans. So I learned from not only my problems, but other people's problems. So you can
Okay.
probably use that bone meal just like a scoop with each thing that you're doing. Yeah. And I use a lot of that. I buy black cow from Walmart because I don't have a cow
Yeah.
or bunny rabbits. I do have chickens. But usually we take it straight from there over to the compost area. So it's already in my compost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been using the bone meal, blood meal. I was using just bone meal, but then I watched a video where it said for peppers, you need bone meal, blood meal together. So I said, well, it'd be easier just to buy it together. And it does have its own little unique smell.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I was another question I had, because there's good soils for, like if you're doing raised beds and stuff, and some of those soils have like wood chips in them and stuff that break down after a while when you're in your, when they're in the raised beds. But what is the best soil to start with when you're, say, trying to plant inside, like I said, I have these little things, and what you do is fill the little
I
containers
would
and
read
start.
the bag and look for something that's for indoor. But the problem with indoor, the soil is getting those stupid fungus gnats in it. That's what. But I definitely would pick one that's specifically for indoor, because they're different, and sometimes they're smaller bags. I've noticed.
Starter soil. We got loads of cattle crap.
Well,
Yeah, he has tons of like cattle crap. Yes.
with my budget, anything I put in the soil is not going to be a lot because it has to be spread out through the whole yard.
Okay.
So I wouldn't put any. I wouldn't put too much of anything really. But you can put too much cow manure in there too, because it's. But the what I get from the store is already aged. Because they say don't get it if it's not already aged. But what I get's already aged. You can come here and get all the cow you want. Wow. Well, I don't know about that.
Now listen, that would probably be a good thing if you're because
Sweet offer. If I lived in Missouri, I might.
yeah, right. I probably would take them up on that offer, because I need to start a compost pile, to get better soil to use in my, my gardens and stuff.
Yeah. I start adding my chicken manure. I start adding it because usually this is Texas. So my garden is dying by August. Okay. It's dying. I'm watering it twice a day and it's dying because it's so hot. So usually gardening is done for me in August. So usually in August, I start adding the chicken manure. So it has all that time from August all the way through when I plant again to, which to me has been 6 months has been long enough for me. I know some people say a year, but 6 months has been long enough for me. And those plants have been successful. So just bring your truck. Yeah. I don't see myself doing that on vacation. That sounds like work, and I don't want to do work on my vacation. Oh, I can't imagine doing that. But yeah, I mean, if I were there, I might actually come by and do that. But I can't imagine trying to carry that. But last year at the Ozark meetup, Jan's meetup, I got a elderberry cutting, and I put my elderberry cutting in a red Solo cup with water. I did 2 of them, and I put them in the window. But I moved them to a clear cup so they could get some sun. And I put them in the window, and I let them get roots. And then I planted that into the ground, and that grew during the winter. And then it kind of died off when we had that freeze. And now it's coming up with vengeance, and it looks beautiful. And it's actually produced its own little baby over there. So I should have, I don't know how long it takes to get elderberry, but it should be big enough I can give cuttings to people soon.
Cool.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. I actually failed at that a couple of times. This is my 3rd try on the elderberry. So not everything am I always successful at the very beginning. I still have not conquered loofah. I don't know what it is. It may have something to do with the temperature of the soil or the type of soil.
Yeah, Ginger had given me loofah, like the loofah, and it had the seeds inside.
Uh-huh.
And she said that those would be good to, plant and stuff like that. I just never did put them in the ground. But loofah, I use loofah all the time,
Yeah.
just for everything. And so it would be good to try loofah for real.
Yeah, I know it needs a trellis, and I may try again. I don't really know where I have to put it at this point because it's kind of late in the season for me. I have a few containers left. The 2 Jan just gave me, and then hubby just got me those 2 wood containers I just got through planting. But I was saving those for the IBG seeds because Adrian with Indiana Backyard Gardener does a seed swap, and I'm supposed to get those seeds next week. And I wanted to save something so I could plant because she always sends really cool stuff. Like last year, she sent roselle and papaya, all these really cool things. And I wanted to be able to try stuff. But if I planted all my containers already, then I wouldn't have anywhere to put anything. So I saved those containers so I'd have space to plant some of the stuff that she sends. And then the rest of the seeds will get saved for next year.
Kelly.
I never, ever throw my seeds away. I just keep them. And if I see they're not coming up, then I may just throw them out. But, I mean, I at least test them to see. You're starting your garden tomorrow? Awesome.
Nice.
I'm guessing he would probably be in an 8A. Do you know what garden zone you're in, Ed? Oh, that's
yeah.
all of a sudden I could hear the birds. I was like, what?
Yes, I know. They're just so loud. And if I get up or I get close to them, they start getting louder. Yes, I'm ready for them to go outside.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
I'm ready for them to go.
We actually, this is our utility room right here, and right by that is the back door. So we have this big, huge, long plastic tote that we usually put ours in. And but we haven't got any. I don't think we're going to get any this year, but I think next year we're probably going to. But we have 12 right now.
Nice.
Yeah, we had one that passed away last year. So
I've got to learn. I've got to learn my new incubator on how to do the humidity and stuff like that because it's a new one to me. And this last hatching, I only got 8 out of 26 eggs. And I'm like, that is not a very good hatching rate. But it's also a new incubator for me. So I just have to learn it.
Yeah, I've never done that. Someone told me a while back that it was addicting. And I was like, ooh, yeah, I don't need a new addiction. So I stayed away from that. But we usually just go to Tractor Supply and pick some out and bring them up.
But
we get exactly as many as we want. But we do have some that are older, and we don't process ours. They just come here and they live until they die, and then they get buried in the yard somewhere. And
Well,
they retire here. We don't like move them around or give them to some little old lady to whatever. They just stay here until they're gone. They live a
now,
natural life.
if I can tell anybody on any of my animals that are more productive, have more of a job here on the homestead, that would be my chickens, because we incubate them, we raise them, they give us eggs for breakfast. I've had enough eggs to give people, and we also raise them to have meat in our freezer. So I think my chickens are the most productive right now on the homestead, than my other ones. Like my pigs, as soon as my potbelly pigs are no longer around, I will not be getting any more potbellies, because I'm trying to get animals on the homestead that have a purpose. And I really want to be a good gardener. Like if I can't grow a certain thing, okay, fine, but at least I tried.
You'll learn stuff from every year. You'll learn a thing from every year. Just do, kind of follow along, whatever you messed up on. Like last year, some of the stuff in pots weren't coming up. So I did research on that, and it was talking about being compacted or whatever. So this year, I tried to grow less things in pots and try to get bigger containers. But also, if I did grow in a pot, I tried to put some of that perlite in there so it wouldn't get compacted, and just try to keep it nice and airy with the perlite. And so we'll see if the things in my pots do better this year than normal. But I'm trying to go more away from pots. And more into, like, if I'm going to buy something, at least buy a bigger pot or a 5-gallon bucket, to where, because you can grow a tomato in a 5-gallon bucket. Are your chickens taller than you? Oh my. Not everybody is 6'3" or whatever you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. I haven't seen Ed in a few years, actually. Yeah, it's been a while. But I am going to have to get off here a little bit early because I have to go over to Jan's. I'm going to be on Jan's live tonight. But thank you, Amy, for coming by. Text me any questions or anything you have, and I'll get together that little list on it. Actually, I have it topped up here in the pink there because I was trying to remind myself of the things that I needed to remember to plant with what research. So I'll send you a copy of that. All right.
Thank you so much
for coming by. Thank you for coming up, Amy. And I will see you soon. I'll try to get those supplies to buy that to make that dish. And I'll set that up with you once I get the stuff. Bye, guys. Thank you for coming in. Tonight talking about the Ozark meetup. So bye, guys.